Welcome to today's webinar on using the learning site with your comprehension-based digital products. Thank you for joining me. My name is Amy Rill, and I'm an instructional technologist with Wayside Publishing. If you have a learning site account, please take a moment to log in so that you can explore along with me. If you do not yet have access, don't worry. You can take down some notes for later and explore the resources available on our website and on our YouTube channel. With me today is my producer, Jen, who will be monitoring the chat. Feel free to post any questions that you may have, and we will do our best to answer them during the Q&A portion of our time together. We have 3 goals for our session today: to identify the key features and components of the learning site, navigate the learning site to assign tasks, review student submissions, and provide feedback, and to envision how you might use the learning site and your comprehension-based digital resources in your own classroom with your students. Before we begin, I'd like to take a few minutes to share more about our learning site. Learning Site was built to provide engaging and equitable tools and resources that enhance teaching and learning practices for both teachers and students. Through continuous improvements and research, we are always working to meet teacher and student needs and the goals you see on your screen. We read all the feedback that is submitted to us, so feel free to share your ideas. You may already be familiar with many of the titles and materials for comprehensible input and acquisition-driven instruction that Wayside offers. These resources have been written by classroom teachers who have firsthand knowledge of what it takes to engage students and facilitate language acquisition, and are designed to help educators sustain interaction in the target language at each level in the learning process. Wayside has readers available across a wide range of topics, genres, lengths, and levels of difficulty. Wayside has recently added 6 new titles to the collection of comprehension-based readers. Today, I will be demonstrating using the title Paco el Pingüino Perdido, but the format, activity types, and procedure for assigning and reviewing activities on the learning site are the same for readers written in other languages too. If you are able, you may want to use a second screen or open another window so that you can explore along with me. Remember, if you do not yet have access to your account, you can follow along, jot down some notes for later, and explore the resources available on our website and on our YouTube channel at the conclusion of our session. Now, let's get started with the demo. After logging in, you will arrive on your dashboard. The dashboard is your centralized location for everything on the learning site. Let's take a look around. Your Explorer class contains the audio, video, and online activities and resources that go along with each reader. The Explorer class is where you can access the FlexText, monitor your grades, your students' grades, view assignments, and the list of your enrolled students, and adjust class settings. Your FlexText is the page-by-page digital version of the reader that includes links to related digital activities and audio files. The Learning Tools menu contains the Instructional Strategies Toolkit, which provides a variety of instructional approaches that can be filtered by mode, skill, proficiency level, activity type, and more. Whether you're a new teacher or want to find new strategies, the toolkit provides built-in world language methodology and pedagogy training at any time. Use the What's New link to learn more about recent enhancements to the learning site. To adjust your account information, click on your name in the upper right corner. By simply clicking on the Help menu, teachers and students can access our video tutorials, FAQs, Support Center, and contact information. The Help menu is also where you will find our automated chat and feedback button. We will begin our overview of the Explorer class by navigating the FlexText. Your FlexText is the page-by-page digital version of your reader. Navigate through the FlexText using the table of contents on the left. Search by keyword or phrase in English or in the target language. Enter a page number to jump to that page in the FlexText. Track highlighted areas and be taken to its location in the text. Use your cursor to select text to add a note or highlight. Visit the Instructional Strategies Toolkit for ideas like Mark It Up to encourage students to interact with the text while reading. Click the compass icon in the FlexText to access related items. Click on the audio icon to play directly from the pop-up window without having to navigate away from the FlexText.
No ven a Paco. Paco no está en la playa. Paco!
If you wish to use the audio file within an assignment created in your LMS, select the link to the audio file. Download the file and save it. This file and the list of related activities is located on the Explorer Content tab. The Explorer Content tab contains the teacher resources and instructional materials for each chapter. To explore instructional materials and resources, select a folder to expand it, or use the menu on the left by selecting a folder title. Our search bar and browse functionality will help you locate a resource quickly by using either the drop-down menus or by keyword. To quickly return to a previous page or location, select its name in the navigation path or breadcrumbs below the search bar, or use your back navigation button. On the Explorer Content tab, you can view and assign resources as well as preview, attempt, monitor grades, assign to students, share to Google Classroom if you use that LMS, and adjust activity settings. Hovering your cursor over the eye next to the title of a task provides a quick view of the activity type. Task activities provide multiple attempts for student improvement and can be auto-graded and manually graded on the learning site. Once you have located a resource, select its title. Here you will see additional information, related activities and resources, or you can use the quick link buttons underneath. The Explorer Content tab is also where you and your students can directly access the classroom forum. There we go. You can directly access the classroom forum, a forum exclusively for you and your class that allows for interpersonal communication, sharing resources, community building, class communication, and extending interaction. Students and teachers can comment, reply, and ask questions as you engage with the reader through written, audio, or video submissions, as well as links and images. Some titles also include a classroom forum within each chapter. To assign a task activity, you will first need to locate a task you wish to assign. You can do this from the Explorer Content tab, which I demonstrated earlier, the Assignments tab, or using the compass icon in the FlexText. From the compass icon, you can choose to pop the task open in a new tab, which takes you directly to where the task is located in the Explorer Content section of the Learning Site. You can quickly assign a task from these buttons. Or by selecting the Actions button, choosing Assign, and following the prompts. From the Assignments tab, you're able to assign multiple tasks at one time. All these assignments will have the same due date, but you can edit the due dates individually if you would like later. Once a task is assigned, your students will receive a notification in their notification bell, as well as on their Assignments tab. So this is the student view. We'll go back to the teacher view. To review task submissions and provide feedback, you will use the Learning Site Gradebook located on the Grades tab. Auto-graded task scores will appear in the Learning Site immediately after submission. Manually graded task scores will appear after a score is entered using the Learning Site's built-in grading and feedback tools. By default, the filters are not all selected. You and your students may want to adjust the filters when you first get started. You can also export your gradebook at any time as a detailed CSV file by selecting Export Grades. Once on the Grades tab, select a student grade to open the reviewing window. You can also select the title of the assignment to view all student grades and details.
Okay, Amy, I've got two questions before you go on.
Okay.
So Sandra wants to know if the grades are automatically submitted to the learning management system.
If you are using an LMS integration that has grades pass back, then you would set that up so that they would transfer into your LMS.
Okay, and then there was another question. Can you edit due dates by student?
Yes, you can differentiate by individually assigning to students, changing those due dates. Yes, thank you for your questions. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see. You can also access student grades from the individual task in the Explorer Content tab. You can see here with the speech bubbles that there is feedback. So you and your students can see that there was feedback left on that assignment. In the grading and feedback window, you have the ability to provide written, audio, and video feedback to students, adjust grades, navigate between students, see submission details, and remove attempts. Your students will click on the Grades tab to review their submissions and any feedback you have left. Okay, back on my teacher learning site. In the Settings tab, you can adjust properties that affect your entire Explorer class. Change the maximum number of attempts for all tasks. The default is set to 3 attempts. View and change the attempt limit on individual tasks in the Content tab by selecting the Settings button for the task. Decide what content students can view under the Explorer Content tab. Only content that is marked with a check or a dash will be visible to students. Hidden content will display as gray text for the teacher. We just hid number 4, chapter 4. I'm refreshing my screen and you can see now that chapter 4 is gray. So that's hidden. And your student, let's refresh his tab, now also does not have access to chapter 4. Teachers can still assign content that is hidden from student view. Students will access the task from the Assignments tab, but it will not be visible in their Explorer Content tab or in the related items in the compass icon of the FlexText. The teacher's guide that accompanies each reader is loaded with resources to enrich the teaching and learning experience and can be easily accessed from the Explorer Content tab. So you have your reader and digital access to a lot of resources and content. When and where is a good place to integrate the reader into your curriculum? The answer to that question may vary by district, school, teacher, and even by class. Readers can reinforce the curriculum or bring in new cultural information through fiction and can be incorporated in a variety of ways. Take a moment to view the list of suggestions and think about which ones may best support your teaching and learning philosophies, your class schedule, and the needs of your students. You may want to revisit this list later in the school year after you get to know your students better. Here are some recommended best practices in pacing. Plan to invest time in pre-reading activities, including front-loading key vocabulary to ensure that students can readily comprehend the chapter and derive maximum benefit from the input. If the reader replaces a unit, consider ways to incorporate key vocabulary or structures from the missing unit if possible. If not, plan where and when to include this information in a future unit, but focus only on the most important information and skills that students will need to know to be successful moving forward. Some of the vocabulary from the replaced unit may even be included in the Te acuerdas or Rappelle-toi section of the next level course. If you read the novel between units or at the end of a semester, keep a lively pace. In a 90-minute class, students can read one chapter and complete several activities that allow them to show comprehension, interact with one another, and present their own opinions or predictions. Vary the activities and groupings to maintain interest. Visit the Instructional Strategies Toolkit for more ideas. If you read the novel while also working on a unit, you may want to avoid long gaps in reading sessions to keep students engaged with the story. Shorter but more frequent lessons are most effective. Before students choose their own readers for free voluntary reading, you may want to read the same novel as a whole class to practice reading skills first.
Amy, before
Yes.
you go on, Kimberly wanted to ask about if they purchase a teacher's guide from Fluency Matters, can they access it now?
If they have purchased the digital access to it, then they should have that. It should be included in the digital resources within the learning site. If you find that you don't have access to it, you can contact our team at info@waysidepublishing.com and they'll be able to get you set up. This fall, Wayside will also be introducing two companion readers for the Entre Culturas 1 y 2 textbooks. These readers align with the themes, vocabulary, grammar, and essential questions that include proficiency-based, real-world activities in all three modes of communication. Interculturality is built in with extracultural readings and reflection questions. They also include communicative and intercultural can-do statements for self-assessment and reflection. Stay tuned for updates from Wayside on when these readers will be available for purchase and use in your classrooms. For detailed instructions of the demonstrations that you saw today, please view the Getting Started guide or the Learning Site and Fluency Matters walkthrough video. For more information about our titles and links to CI Stories podcasts, please visit our Welcome to the Family page or email us at info@waysidepublishing.com. Additional resources and support for the Learning Site are just a few clicks away. Remember that our help icon, the question mark you see at the top right of the Learning Site, offers quick access to guides and links to our video tutorials, FAQs, and support center. There are also a few ways to contact us: automated chat, email, and phone. We have a few minutes to discuss any questions you may have. Feel free to raise your hand or post in the chat if you would prefer not to unmute your mic. What questions do you still have? Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I heard it was fabulous. Wonderful. So comments about needing to explore a bit more, just know that you can reach out to us at any time as you're exploring throughout the school year. If you need any assistance, reach out to us at any time. There will be more information and more professional learning opportunities coming up throughout the school year. So please check back to our website often. If you have any questions about the instructional use of the learning site, Jen put in the chat my email. You can email me at instructionaltechnology@waysidepublishing.com. And there are tutorials on the site. I do have a walkthrough video similar to the demonstrations I did here today that is on our site as well. And let's see, we had a question about, it says, once I create a class, all of those strategies will appear for me. Yes, you should have on your dashboard on the learning site, you should be able to see, if you're talking about the instructional strategies toolkit that's available for all teachers on the learning site. And there is a student video. There is information on how to, students will sign up, how you share that information with students, depending on how your learning site account is set up, whether that's through an LMS integration or they're accessing through maybe single sign-on through your school. That will, the sign up for your students will depend on that. So if you have any questions about that, please reach out to us. You can reach out to info@waysidepublishing.com, and that we will be able to get information to you for signing up. If you're interested in a certificate of participation for today, please click on the link in the chat. Jen should be putting a link in the chat for you, or you can scan the QR code. If you do not receive your certificate within a day or so, please check your junk mail. And if it's not there, reach out to us and we can get you a copy of your certificate. I would like to thank you for your participation in today's session on integrating your readers with the Wayside Learning Site. If you have any questions while you're exploring resources and assigning activities, feel free to reach out to us at any time. Thanks again for joining me, and I wish you much success in the upcoming school year.